Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach. It's going to be the final major buy round review, or preview, I should say. Round 18, there's quite a few decisions to make. There's some good trade-ins. There's some guys that can be downgraded. There's some trade-ins that are hopefully keepers. Couple of big omissions. Got lucky with the Kiraz being 18th man. Reece Walsh also 18th man, which, you know, a few people own Walsh, and it also affects like a Karapani this week, but that's fine. But yeah, if we look, I've looked at the numbers already, and we've got numbers. I think what do we have? 15? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we got 15 at the moment, but that's including Mamazoulis and Hubner, who are both, I mean, really, they're duds. And also, like, King Tongia up against the Raiders, not great. So we've got 12 good players. And I mean, you know, one of these guys could jag an attacking stat, but that's 12. We're definitely trading Lukey Metcalf, and then there's other good pickups as well. So we're going to have good numbers. I already know that next week we'll just double check who's on the buy. So yeah, Rabbits, which is fine. The only high profile Rabbits player we'll have is Keon. We might still have a Hubner or a Mamzoulis, I'm not sure yet, but doesn't fucking, who cares? It's 30 points. So it's only going to be Kalamatangi. Manly at the moment we've only got one, and we potentially could have two. I still don't mind Lehigh Hopewade, but we'll get into that. So maybe two Manly boys, and we're only going to have one Raiders fella in Zach Hosking. So yeah, round 19, I originally, I think looking back weeks ago, I was a little nervous coming into it. I mean, we had quite a few Manly guys, but that has dissipated, and yeah, we're looking good for the final sort of affected round next week. So we don't need to really panic about that, and also we don't need to panic who we're bringing in. Now, the big one, I guess, straight off the rip is Luke Metcalf. Now, we do have plenty of cash. We got 538k in the bank, which is beautiful because we can do some big trades. We can do some big trades this week, which is lovely. Now, the big question though is who. I mean, Jerome Hughes is the pickup. However, this is where it gets a little bit. It does get a little bit tricky, right? So I can go pretty much straight to Hughes. I think it costs about 50 to 70k, which is not too bad. Hughes has made a bit of cash. Metcalf unfortunately lost a bit, but it's still, it's pretty much a sideways trade, which is good. However, at that point, we will obviously, to make it simple, let's just do this for now. So going forward, I'm still happy to rock with Jaden Campbell as my number 158. Maybe if we got a luxury trade left, we look to bring in a Cam Munster or someone else as a backup 5'8". Because I guess, we don't want to waste King Tongia's money. He's made good cash. He's scored some good points. I'm hoping that he can somehow jag some attack against the Raiders. I'm not overly optimistic, but he's got a very low break even. Well, he's got a 0 break even, so he's going to make cash regardless. Then he plays. Who's he got? Then he's got the Roosters. Depending what he scores this week, he could score very low, and then he'll come in with a pretty high break even next week. So we could look to trade him in round 19. If he gets a decent score, he could still have a low break even, and we could hold him for 19. And then really round 20 at the latest, I think we're going to be looking to trade King Tongia. But it's a weird one because there's not. I don't really like the idea of having two expensive 5'8s. It's sort of annoying that Latufanu, we could still, I don't know, depending what happens, depending how much Latufanu makes this week, you could still downgrade King Tongia to Latufanu next week, because I still think Latufanu can be a good point scorer if you need him, and he's not going to cost money. But is that worth it? I don't know. We'll see. We'll weigh it up. But I think King Tongia, we will like to get rid of him, because I do think it's not so much the money. It's not so much the money, because I don't really care about bringing in another gun 5'8", like I said. It's more the fact that he will have some low scores in him. He's out of 33. He's been consistent, but he has had attacking stats in all of these games, and they have been good matchups. Newcastle, Dolphins, I mean, they've been pretty good, but, Sharkies have been pretty shit, Para. So he's had some decent little matchups here. But I could see some low scores from him, and that would obviously ruin our AE if we take a loop. So we're trying to get rid of the dead wood as it is. So Tongia is probably a trade out. I mean, let's have a quick squiz at the 5'8s. Who? I'm not opposed to bringing in a Munster after Origin, but again, it's just just the sit start. Too many options is not a good thing. So let's have a look. I mean, Munster is at a good price. Ethan Strange has been good last few weeks, so I'm not bringing him in. So yeah, Munster, tick over 600k. So he's at a very nice price, actually. He's got a big break even. He's not playing this week. He backs up against who do they play? The Knights, who've been defending pretty well. So yeah, you don't have to bring in Munster in 19. You can definitely wait for round 20. Don't hate it. The Storm do have a tough run home, though. Manly at Amy Park, that's good. But then the Roosters, they are a bit up and down, the Roosters, but they will have a good team. Para, good matchup. But then the Broncos, Penrith, Dogs, Roosters again, Broncos to finish. And there's every chance there's I think last year they rested all their players in round 26. I feel like this happened didn't they verse the Broncos in the final game last year as well? They rested all their players the week before and then pulled out with the big boys in the final game against the Bronx. Is that I gotta see. I'm sure that's what happened. 2024. What happened? No, he played round 26. I thought they rested. Maybe they rested Grant potentially. I thought they rested a couple, but he had a big game against the Cows and then a decent game against the Bronx. He was pretty underwhelming last year, though, wasn't he? Obviously injured. He did come off surgery at the end of the year, but yeah, I don't mind Munster potentially. I mean, Ezra Mam is a guy that's been killing it, but you I don't know. He's probably a pickup for this week if you're going to get him in. I guess there actually, you know what? There actually will be a potential downgrade option at 5'8". I mean, honestly, a Lockie Galvin could actually be a downgrade option. He's still coming off the bench. He's going to have surprisingly not a huge... I guess he did get a lucky fucking try a couple of weeks ago off the bench. So he scored 70. Oh no, he played 80 that game. He scored... I think it was the Para game. Was it? Yeah, the Para game, he scored that late try. Save his score, but an 18. He could lose a bit more cash if he keeps coming off the bench. Surely they've got to start him at some point, right? So he could be a little sideways trade. Again, is it worth it? I don't know. But with Ladufanu, what's his break even? So yeah, 6. He's just going to get a little bit too expensive, I think, Latu, and you wouldn't want to play him. But depending what happens, Tamari Martin, obviously a buy this week. He started at 700,000. Holy. I mean, he was really good last year, but fuck, I didn't know he was that expensive. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they go with Tamara Munn or if they go with Tanner Boyd. I think Tanner Boyd, unfortunately, would just be halfback. No, Tanner Boyd is dual as well. Unfortunately, he's a little bit more expensive, but you could wait and see on Tanner Boyd because the Warriors have a really good run. So honestly, you know what? Like a Tamara Munn or a Tanner Boyd would be the goal kicker if he came in as well. He's never been that relevant, but honestly, if it was Tamara Martin, God, what did he do in 2024? He went unreal. He missed a lot of... honestly, I can't even really remember like where he missed a lot of footy. A 98-72, couple of low scores, missed a bunch. 93, 115, 111, 102, 105, missed a bunch. I don't know. That's one potential. That's one potential at the 5'8" mark. In a couple of weeks for King Tongia, maybe. We'll see. But then the big one, Luke Metcalf. Again, we could trade Metcalf to one of these 5'8", like a Ezra Mam, or I know people are going like a KO Weeks. That like, I know the Raiders do have a good draw, but I don't know. I don't really like the... I don't mind the KO Weeks play, but for me, it just sort of... Yeah, I don't know. I don't particularly like it because I'm still going to be using a trade then because I'll have to get King Tongia up to Cleary as soon as possible, which wouldn't be a problem. I'll have plenty of cash in the bank, but I don't love it. Now, the halfbacks, it's Jerome Hughes, but the problem is that if I bring in Hughes this week... Like, the goal... Like Cleary is definitely the number one halfback target, right? He definitely is. He's obviously missing this week. Round 19, they have a good matchup against Para, but there's every... do you go straight to Cleary? Probably not with that issue with the niggle. He's not goal kicking at the moment, coming off an Origin series. Does he rest? Maybe not, but you'd expect the output to not be as high. So you could wait, but Penrith do have like they have an insane little run coming up. It's a really good run. So let's say 19, you don't bring him in, but then South, West, Gold Coast, Newcastle, that's really good. And I mean, even Melbourne can't. I mean, Cleary's matchup proof regardless, but there could be some big scores. So I do think Cleary is the number one target. If I bring in Hughes, then it's out of Hughes versus Hines. Like, part of me still thinks Hines is the second best option though. Like, I still prefer to have Hines over Jerome Hughes. That's the kicker. Like, the Storm have a tough run. The Sharks have a good run. They missed this week, obviously, but then Dolphins, Roosters, South, Cowboys, Dragons, Gold Coast, Newcastle, Dogs to finish. Like, there's some really good matchups in there. Quite a few at Shark Park. The next two, that one, next couple. And like, short, like that's the thing. People are like ripping on Hines for being terrible this year in Supercoach. He's averaging like a tick more than Jerome Hughes. Like, Hughes has had a couple of big scores, but he's had some low ones. And then Hines has he's been pretty consistent. He doesn't really have any low scores, but he hasn't had those big ones. Like, you just sort of feel like there's got to be some coming. So if I bring in Hughes this week, there's every chance that... I mean, the fact that I've saved a few trades, is it a terrible idea to bring in Hughes for 2 weeks? Bring in Hughes for 2 weeks and then trade him to Cleary in round 20. What are the Storm's next 2 games? Obviously, this game is... Like, that's the big thing. If they won't take you on the Cowboys, who... they could put on so many points. I mean, the Storm also are missing like some big name players, so it might not be. They might not absolutely roll over this Cowboys team like we think, but there's every chance. Like the Cowboys team is like, it's looking not great. They take on the Cowboys, Newcastle. Unfortunately, Manly at Amy Park. Although Manly, that's always a grudge game, so you never know. They could turn up for that one, but you'd sort of want to play him. That's the thing. Hughes has... It's not a bad, like, month. Even then, Roosters isn't too bad. Into Para, which is good. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you could always... You could always bring Cleary back in the flex spot. You could trade out... I mean, it's either Drinkwater or Pappenhausen. You're not trading out Tedesco. I don't know. I really don't. It's just the fact that, like, there's every chance Hughes goes massive this week. Now, thankfully, I'd probably still vice-captain Pappenhausen. That's a tough call. Like, the 50-50 on the vice-captain is tough, like Pappenhausen or Hughes. It feels like if you bring Hughes in, you feel like you sort of have to, but Pappy's sort of due for a breakout game, right? Like he's got the big ceiling. Hughes he goes big, but he does need to do a hell of a lot. Pappy with the goal kicking, he's been a bit out of form these last few weeks, but it just rings of a Pappenhausen treble, you know. So yeah, I don't know. Oh boy. I'm torn. I'm really torn. Oh shit. I was hoping talking this out, I'd be like, you know what, that makes sense, but I don't know. Like, it probably does. You know what? For now, I guess at the end of that, it's either Metcalf 2. It's holding Metcalf and trading Metcalf straight to Cleary in a couple of weeks. But I guess there's every chance, like, you wait, right? And then Cleary picks up a niggle in Origin and he misses a couple more weeks. Now, there's every chance he doesn't and he's good to go for around 19, 20. But there's every chance he misses a couple more weeks or something happens or blah, blah, blah. So maybe just do this now and just have the buffer there. I think, you know what? Just do it. It's a big number for this round. A lot of people in the top percent have Hughes. How many people have Jerome Hughes? 20%, but it would be very high in like the top echelon of people. So yeah, I like the Hughes play. He's got... Let's just do that for now. And like I said, I don't have a stack of trades, but I've definitely got more than a lot of people I've seen. So, you know, if it all goes pear-shape, we can use an extra trade. That's fine. I mean, he's got a 70... I was thinking maybe he could make some good cash. He does have a 72 break even. It's just the fact that he's been so up and down. He's been fucking so up and down. He got 32 against the damn Titans. He did get 136 last time they played the Cowboys, and that would have been... I mean, that would have been like a full strength Cowboys team too, round 14. Then against South, poor. Then another big ton against the Sharkies. Yeah, I think just do it. I'd still vice captain Pappy over him, but I think just do that, and then we just have to make the decision on how we're bringing Cleary back, because I still think Cleary is one of the must-have guys for the run home for sure. So that's that. That's another big number for this round. Then, so. There is a couple of key centre wing targets for sure. It's a little tricky of like, who do I trade out? Like, I'm still happy to hold Billy Smith. He, you know, he got his couple of tries last week, last game he played, so he's probably not due for another 10 weeks. But, you know, taking on the Tigers and then the Dragons, I feel like you have to keep him for the couple of weeks. He's good cover. He's, you know, I'm happy to play him. Like, there's every chance you trade him to one of the guns and he scores more than them. I feel like it's just one of those weeks. Obviously, a Moreni Hiroti, you'd look at him and be like, you should trade him out. But at the same, I'm sort of like, at this point, like, the Sharks aren't playing anyway. Hiroti expected back 2021. It could be longer, but I think, honestly, Talakai has been okay at centre, but I don't think he's definitely not the talent. Like, he's more built for the forwards now. You know, he hasn't been training in the centres. He's lost a bit of that explosiveness in the centres. I think he's been okay, but not too flash. I think his opposing centres have sort of done a bit of a number on him. So I was worried that, well, not worried, but I thought there's every chance he kills it and, you know, he might stay there. But I think when Hiroti comes back, there's every chance Hiroti goes back to the left centre spot and he could carve up. Like, he scored 77, 73, 80, and then he did get 23 in 80 minutes against the Roosters. I don't know what happened there. But then another 74, and then he got, you know, the 30-odd minutes there where he missed footy, obviously. Potentially back for the South, Cowboys, Dragons, Gold Coast, Newcastle. I think hold him. Karapani, you're obviously holding. Herbie's a hold. Garrick's a hold. Lomax a hold. Zarko could be a sell. Although there is I'm like, Zarko could be. He's got 100 break even, not playing this week. Actually, yeah, he probably is. I thought he actually had two really good matchups. Obviously, the Cowboys game is really good. He's had a couple of big scores against the Cowboys. I thought 19, he had a really good matchup, but it's against the Sharks. I know the Sharks have been not great, but you know, the Sharks can do a job on teams for sure. And the Dolphins, I feel like the Dolphins are going to hit a wall. Like, missing so many key players, it's going to take its toll. Bye this week, into the Sharks, tough. Cowboys, great, but then another bye. It's probably the time to get rid of him. Like, obviously a couple of, well, even that, like Manly, Gold Coast, but then Raiders, Broncos, Roosters in between. Like, yeah, I don't mind the hold, but yeah, he's ever like, it's one of those ones like you hold him, they finally go to his side and he scores a couple of tries, but yeah, I don't mind the sell of Zarko, and then Hubner's got to go. I'm sort of annoyed that he's starting at lock again because I'm looking at it like, oh, do I just hold him another week because he's starting at lock? But nah, it's a trap. Like, he's got a 60 break even. He's going to lose more cash. And you know what? I actually think, well, no, it doesn't really matter. I like the idea of bringing Kane Bradley because, like, if we look at back row options, now I would probably rather have Bradley in the centre wing, but I can't really swing it. I mean, I could trade a Zarko to Bradley, but I do want to potentially bring in another gun centre winger this week, so it doesn't really work in my favour to do that. But it's going to be easy enough. Like, at some point, we're going to trade in... we could look to... is it going to be easy to do? I don't know. It could be a little tricky. but we'll see. But I do like the idea of bringing in a Kane Bradley to like sort of just to basically nuff out Hubner, take a bit of cash, but also be like an okay play for the next couple of weeks. Like if you look at back rowers, I like there's a couple of decent options. Like Preston is still good, but honestly, I've got kick out. I'm not going both Bulldogs back rowers at this point. If Preston continues to bang out 70 odd 80 points, so be it. But I think he's going to slip by us. Hudson Young, maybe after Origin, but yeah, I don't know. I think Hudson Young's not a bad like antipod. Like I can't see him keeping up that 80 average, but we'll see. Maybe when he drops a bit of cash, he could be a play. Aaron Clark is still great, but he's got a buy. There's no reason to pick him up. Britton Nickera has been good, but a buy. That's fine. And then there's not much else. Like the only other guy I'm looking in the back row at the moment is Angus Crichton, but you're obviously not going this week. I originally in my thought process, I was like, maybe I do trade like a Hubner to Crichton this week to get ahead of the pack. Like nobody's obviously going to have him. He's got a low break even. He probably backs up and he takes on the Dragons. Like I was sort of tempted to bring in Crichton early. If I had no other trades, I was going to potentially do that just to get Hubner out of the team and get ahead of the pack a little bit with that. But there's no real reason to do that. There's no real reason. Tino, we'd love to bring back in at some point. Honestly, when Hosking goes on his bye, potentially Hosking to Tino is not a bad little shout to bring him back in, because I would like, or even honestly trading Lindsay Smith straight to Tino, I don't mind the idea. So there's definitely a couple of guys I'm happy to make way for Tino if he's looking, I'd like to see him back at sort of his best. But then not a whole lot else in the back row. There could be some pod plays at some point, but not really in the back row. It's sort of that position that I'm it is what it is. Like there's some good players, but I feel like the upside is still in the center wing. The enough of Bradley 230k. He's played the one game. Suafalongo is gone for a long time. So Bradley, I mean, you would expect he's obviously playing this week. There's every chance he plays next week against Newcastle with, like, obviously Warbrick's out as well. Like, I think there's every chance he plays next week. If not as well, like, it's fine. Honestly, it's fine. Like, I'm happy to take the cash and have the nuff here as well. And if he plays, he plays. Like, he could be a good number. He could score a couple of tries. If he doesn't, he doesn't. It's fine. I do like the Bradley play. I think I'm going to do it. Is it completely necessary? Maybe not. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But I think it's not bad. And then we're back up to 650k in the bank. Originally, I was thinking maybe I only make one trade this week, but apparently I'm going to make 3. Apparently I'm going to be making 3. So then we should look at... Yeah, I still think Azarko is the trade out. I do. I thought they had a really good matchup in 19 and then into that great Cowboys game, but because they take on the Sharkies after the bye, I don't mind this. And now there's a plethora. It's funny because I sort of want Kiraz to play because I would have brought Kiraz in fucking instantly, but he's not playing, so oh well, we gotta wait. What's his break even gonna be? It's still 100. What's because are we gonna bring Kiraz in next week? Yeah, they do take it. Yeah, You probably do have to bring in Kiraz literally next week against the Cowboys. Yeah, you probably do. You probably have to. He's just too good. I'm just thinking, who do I trade out for him though? It could be Karapani. It could be Billy Smith. We could just get rid of Billy Smith. I don't mind that, honestly. He would have done his job. It's a good matchup next week for Smith, but we might not even play him next week. So, yes. Okay. What are they saying about Ero? Is Ero gone for the season? Yeah, pretty much. He's gone for the season. I mean, Val Holmes, he's coming through Origin. Bradman Best has looked really good, but obviously on a bye anyway. Nwangani Tawaze is the guy that a lot of people are flocking to, and even a Lehigh Hopawate is very interesting. Similar price. Hopawate still playing fullback. It's a great matchup this week against a depleted Bunnies side, which I like. But then a buy 19, which again I'm fine. Like, I've got the cover. But then Melbourne Bulldogs Roosters Canberra. I don't love that, and there's every chance he goes back to the wing, which, again, if Tommy's fit and firing, it's not like a bad thing. The last 4 weeks are really good. Tigers, Dolphins, Dragons, Warriors, but I think I like Nwanga. I do think I like the Nwangani Tawaze play. I think he's also just a good player. Like, he's such a great player to watch in real life footy, and then like Supercoach wise as well, he just has that about him, right? He is playing centre, which I know people bring up the stats that he hasn't scored as well at centre, but I still like him at centre. Like, he just gets a bit more early ball. He'll offload it more at centre. Yeah, granted, he's not going to get those freebie tries on the wing, but fuck, it's a really good matchup. Like, I think I like the Nwangani Tawaze play. Like, he could go really big. He might not, but he could. And you know what? We could actually, at some point, we could look to bring in Beau Fermor in our centre wing. So then we do have the flexibility with, like, Bradley and Dylan Lucas up in our second row. But that's... yeah, whether or not we do that, I don't know. It might not be worth it. But I think it's hard to go past Nwangani Tawaze. He's just looked really good. Obviously, it's not really chasing points, but, you know, he's been I don't know. He hasn't even been that down. Like, you know, a 43 and a 48, you look at that and you're like, it's not great, but fuck. 71, 97, 91, 69, 72, 71, 86. Like, he's been really solid. Like, he's been really good. And they do have good matchups coming up. Like, I'm pretty happy to roll the dice on Nwangani Tawaze. Like, he's a keeper till the end, and he could be a guy you just sort of play on matchups. We also make money from going as Arco to Nwangani Tawaze, so it feels pretty good. Yeah, I like that. So we've ended up using 3 trades, which I wasn't planning on doing this round, I've got to be honest. I was like, we have good numbers coming in. I don't need to do it, but we got rid of, again, Lockie Hubner, which is nice. The more is it worth going? Is it worth using the trade going to Bradley? No, I still think it is. Because, I mean, we got 700k, which is nice. Like, we've got good depth. We still, like, our center wing. I know it might be, like I said, it might be strange to hold Hiroti, but if he comes back in with that run coming up, like, he's a great play if we need him. We've got really good depth in the team. We now have a ton of money. We can obviously bring in Cleary easily, right? for either Hughes or Hines or whatever we want to do, however the chips fall. If we wanted to get Tongia up to another 5'8", we could. I don't think I'm going to. Or we go... again, we can make more money going down to a Tamara Martin or even a Tanner Boyd for that Warriors draw, which is very nice, which I like. Campbell's going to be our number 1, which I'm very happy to roll with. Our second row, really strong. I still think Lucas in the second row is the... I think that's the end goal. I think he's one of the top second rowers, and I think there's so many good centre wing options that I like Lucas in the second row. Kalamatangi, keeper. I mean, the minutes were down last week, but brother, he's still a monster. Like, there was going to be a game where he has reduced minutes. Like, I'm fine with that. Kick out. At the moment, I'm definitely happy to keep. Katoa, keeper. Hosking is definitely a trade. He definitely is a trade. He definitely is, because when Hudson Young comes back, there's every chance the fucking role changes and like Simi Sasangi comes on for him, and then like it all gets mixed up. So he's a great play this week, and then we trade him out in 19 for somebody. Who that is, I don't know. It could be we could go Hosking to Angus Crichton. I don't mind that. Our front row, Terrell May and Payne Haas, they're locks. And then Lindsay Smith. Actually, I was like, fuck, do we have can we swing? We can. We have Kalamatangi, who's a dual front row forward, so that's perfect. We can swing Kalamatangi in the front row when we need him for Simpkins, which is beautiful. But then Lindsay Smith to probably Tino. Like, honestly, a straight swap to Tino makes sense. So that's sorted. Our front row / second row. There could be like a Hudson Young or someone, a pod play maybe down the line, but there's no one at the moment. And then dummy half, it's sort of, I guess when Sam Walker comes back, Sanders Smith to Connor Watson, Harry Grant, I don't know. One of the two, that'll do it. So how many trades was that? 1, 2 for Tino, 3 for Hosking to Crichton, probably. 3, 4 for bringing back Cleary. 4 for bringing back Cleary. I mean, I'll say 5... trading King Tongia, even though that's not a priority, but it probably is, just because he could be an AE problem. So 5, and then honestly we'll say 6, because we're going to want to bring in Kiraz for sure, and then I mean, Kiraz can come in. Karapani could be hold to the end if he's playing on that left wing. He could be an absolute like dynamite play. So maybe Karapani goes, maybe not, but definitely 6 bringing Kiraz in, and then there's probably another guy, but 6 definite. And then, I mean, the fullbacks are fine, so 6 trades for sure. So that'll bring us down to 6 trades left. And that's fully covered. Like, that's fully covered, and it's like 6 trades of like luxury, basically. And like, obviously there's going to be injuries. Something's going to happen. So that's the draft. That's the blueprint. And I feel pretty good about it. I mean, the only one I'm like, I still bring in a Hughes this week. I still like him. Like, oh, do I not bring in Hughes? The fact I'm going... God, why did they have to take on the fucking Cowboys, bro? Oh. It's just the fact I'm probably not going to vice captain Hugh. I'm going to vice captain Pappenhausen, so... I don't know. Because if I didn't do that, then obviously I could just trade Metcalf straight to Cleary. potentially next week or wait a week to see what... just do it like this. I think we've got the trades. It's just going to be a pain in the ass trying to figure out who do we trade to Cleary. If it is going to be Hughes, then it does feel like a waste, but... Oh, dude, I don't know. What's the Cowboys run like? Could you trade a Scotty Drinkwater to Cleary? So obviously the major buy, we're happy to play him. Dogs, Dolphins, Dragons, Sharks. It's pretty good. Oh, I don't know. Like everything else, I'm really happy with. I guess Mamazoulis as well. He's the at the moment, like with all the other trade, he is the only guy that I'm like, he's a bit of a plod. Everyone else, like as an AE, yeah, someone could score low, but like they're all good. And I mean, King Tongi is going to get traded in a couple of weeks, so it's only really Mamazoulis. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's still on the bench, unfortunately. Havili's starting. You do also have, like, it's interesting, Brandon Smith is on the extended bench. So Brandon Smith apparently coming back in a couple of weeks. I wonder... It'll be interesting to see what happens. I would imagine Mamazoulis would start then, and then Brandon Smith would come off the bench, which also wouldn't be good for Mamazoulis, but, like... The problem is, like, it probably is worth just to nuff him out. Like, it probably is worth to nuff him out, but it feels like a wasted trade to do that. That's the only other thing. If he was just getting, like, 40, I'd be happy with a 40. And I guess, you know what? At the end of the day, if you've only got one dud score... Well, no, because you're usually going to have one other guy that scores badly. But if Mamazoulis scores 30, if he's the lowest, he's going to drop out anyway. Yeah, it's not that big a fucking deal. When your team is really stacked, like, you're probably not going to take the loop as much anyway, I guess, because you've got to drop a player. So, yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, the hookers, yeah, we still have to make the decision. Either Harry Grant or Connor Watson. Really tough choice. I don't know. I honestly have no idea who I'm going to go with, but we'll see. And then, is there anyone else, like, is there any cheap guy that... No, I don't even want to bring in another cheap guy to, like, score okay. I just want to nuff him out. Like, so... Yeah. You could have gone like a Tristan Hope, but then, fuck, he could find himself on the bench, for like Api Carousel going forward, but I don't know. Kalani going is a bit of an interesting one because he's dual Turaf hooker, so you could have Harry Grant as your number one dummy half and then have Connor Watson in your Turaf, but that's like an extra... Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to work it out. I would love if Mamazoulis could just get to like 40 points a game. Just fucking get 40 points. I'd be fucking content just to have him sit there for the rest of the season, but I'm not confident of that. But I think going forward... That'll wrap it up. I'll be back with a pre-lockout video because there's no Thursday night game, so I'll do another video later in the week. Go through any changes. I'll mull over the Hughes play. I still think it's what I'm going to do, but if we didn't go Hughes, then yeah, we could potentially just fucking nuff Mamazoulis this week. Potentially. But yeah, everything else I'm feeling pretty good about. We'll have a look at like most trade-in and stuff like that and a couple other things. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.